So welcome back to another episode, and welcome back to a special guest. Baruti is back, my great friend, and I've done you a disservice over the years. I've only ever brought you on to do fighting game episodes, and this is a crying shame.
That's totally okay, man. You know, I was driving here today and I was like, John, I've known you for 17 years now.
Yeah.
And I've just turned 34 this year, which means I've known you for half my life.
Yeah.
And it's half my life of John calling me and telling me to play Phantasy Star, and I still haven't played it.
Oh,
I'm so
my
sorry,
God.
But this has been an incredible year for games, huh? Like
It's been, the last couple of weeks has been crazy,
Yep.
and last year was crazy, and we're gonna catch up on a lot of game talk, and I'll ask you guys, what are you playing? Let me know down below. I told Baruti I was gonna do this before we begin.
I want to see it.
I've just got a small rant. The video's called I'm Confused, and that's for a reason, and I'm confused about this game right here.
Okay.
Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. And I just want to say, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant, and I'm not...
I want to see the angry console gamer.
No,
That's
no,
what
no.
I'm here for.
I am not angry. It's just a rant. I'm genuinely confused.
Okay.
And so anyways, I put out a review of this, and it went rather big for a Dragon Quest review. And I said something outlandishly crazy in it. And I just want to say, I'm an over-the-top Dragon Quest fan. I will always lean more into that and give it a higher score. Okay. I'm the first to blame myself for that. But I said a 10 out of 10. I said a 10 out of 10, and I still 100% feel that way. And then I was waiting for all the review scores to come out, right? Because I put mine out. I'm waiting for all like the IGNs and stuff, just out of curiosity on the Metacritic. And IGN shocked me. Like they always shock everybody. But I saw, and I just want to say this is not anything against the person who did the video, or anything like that. But they gave it a 7 out of 10.
So that's how it's going to be, is it?
Okay.
And it's just
interesting.
I am shocked. Like, I think the lowest you could go on the game is 8. Giving it an 8 out of 10. Giving it a 7 really felt like, come on.
Yeah,
like
it feels a little too disrespectful.
Yeah, exactly. And I was so upset about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not usually upset about things like that.
Oh, this guy's so passionate. I love, but it's true. But I'm glad you're, standing your ground with this because you truly love the game. I watched the review, so I was gonna say, like, what did you say that was outlandish about it? Because I thought the game looked really good.
Well, okay. So the criticisms were that the game is too easy. Now, here's the thing. Okay. You can adjust all the difficulty settings. So you can, put more experience points on, more gold on. You can change all the parameters to make it the game that you want. So you can make it as easy or as hard as you want it. After combat, you can have your characters automatically heal. So you can change that. So that's a criticism they have, which, okay.
That's a weird criticism because I feel like now more than ever with games, there's so much to play. Yes. There is so much to experience. Let the gamer decide how difficult an experience should be, right? Like
exactly.
They should never be too easy or too hard, like especially if there's a slider to modify that.
Yeah, and there's a slider to make it exactly the way you want to play it. I'm telling you, the original game I bought it 25 years ago, the day it came out.
It's a mint condition.
It's kind of all right, but it smells a bit like smoke from back then when I used to be a smoker. But this was a long haul slog of a game, but I loved it. I'm not saying that, but it was long. It's like, in our society now, do you have 140 hours for a game?
It's tough.
Depending on the game.
Tough. my attention span has really gone shorter. No, but in a way, like I love like a 15 to 25 hour experience.
Yeah.
Like I love, and I feel like a lot of games now are getting past the 50-hour mark, and a game has to be truly great to really like capture my attention that long.
Yes.
But I love a shorter experience. I love the little 2D side scrollers that take 8 hours to complete. Like I really cherish those memories.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm the one who went and did this back in the day. I did the grind, and then I did it again on the 3DS. Kim did this game, and she did the 3DS.
Kim is so hardcore, man. She's
so is your girlfriend, soon-to-be wife.
Yeah.
Both of our, soon-to-be wife, so I'll say, both of our girls in our lives are incredible. They're hardcore. They're insane.
They're bigger gamers than us in some ways, and I feel so embarrassed with that sometimes.
Well,
how did this happen?
Well, you know what? Kim started to play this, and I took the controller.
Oh.
And that's why I love this game. It's the first game that my daughter played too.
Oh,
I said in the video it's the first Dragon Quest game that my daughter did, but that's not true. It's the first video game she ever did, so I gotta mess that up.
Here comes the heat. Easy peasy.
Okay, the other criticisms they had was there was some different islands missing. There was a bit of content missing. I give you, you're allowed to say that for sure. And now I just want to say, anybody's allowed to have a different opinion.
Of course.
I was just confused. I was just like, what?
You were watching that review like, what is going on here? But that's fair, but that's why people love your channel, John. This is why like everyone follows specific people because they know the history. They know you understand Dragon Quest. Probably, in my opinion, better than anyone. When I think of Dragon Quest, I think of you. When I think of Ys, I think of you. You know what I mean? There's a few franchises that I really tie your opinion strongly.
Thank you, but I'm not just like a yes man. Oh, it's a Dragon Quest game.
Oh, yeah,
it's good.
yeah.
We have ragged on many of the Dragon Quests, like the 1, 2, and 3 collection that came out a bunch of years ago that were based on the mobile apps. I think Square was so upset because I'm like, hey, can you send me a code? They're like, yeah, and I just trashed the game because it was awful. You know those games.
You gotta be honest.
I mean, I am, but this game is so beautiful to look at, running around the world. It's like claymation come to life, and you can blast through the game if you want, and that's cool. So some of you out there, you're like, I don't have 140 hours, but you want to experience what this game is all about. You can do that, and you can speed it up and enjoy it in a faster way. I've talked to many friends of mine, because I had to talk to everybody about this, and everybody's like, I enjoy sometimes going through a game a little bit faster, and like, you don't have to like walk every second and get into combat. You can walk around if you're higher like level than some of the enemies. You just one hit them, and it's over. Anyways, that is my rant.
No, I love it.
I'm not mad.
Yeah.
And I don't wish any ill will to the guy who was over at IGN who did the review. But it just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, no.
I just still confused by it.
I'm glad you stood so firmly on it, and something you've always been passionate about is also like, speeding up games. I think we were talking about the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, how we loved how it just had all these quality of life improvements about it, and like we really appreciated that, especially in this generation where there's just so much media out there to consume, right?
Yeah. I mean, when I was 14 years old, 140-hour game was like,
same with me.
Yes, count me in. But as we were getting a little bit older, it's like, smaller games and sometimes shorter games are okay too. They are okay too. So here we go. What have you been playing? I want to hear all about you. I've done my rant. I'm done. I'm done.
I love the passion. I haven't played a lot this year. I've loved this last year of games. Yes. You know, Johnny used to always call me like, Behr, what are you playing? What are you playing? But this last year, I feel like I've played a decent chunk.
Yeah.
But the big title for me this year has been Death Stranding 2. And that's a 60-hour game. And I gotta tell you, John, so the first game, I really liked it. I enjoyed it. But it was a tough game for me to recommend to anyone. You know, people would ask me like, Behr, what do you think of Death Stranding? I'm like, it's really unique. It's cool, but I don't know if I can recommend this to you unless you're a really patient gamer. Because in my opinion, the first game started like 15 hours into the game. Yeah. You almost have to give it time for the actual like meat of the game to begin.
It's true.
And all those little nitpicks I had of the first one, not to say the first one was still a great game, were fixed with Death Stranding 2. You know, the first 5 minutes, that intro plays, minus 61 with Woodkid. I got chills, John. I know it sounds lame to say, but the music, the visuals of the camera going behind Sam's head and kind of like panning over, and then you see Lou's arm like touch his face, and just with the music and the like, I get chills right now talking about it. Like, it was so epic, and I was like, what am I in for? Like, right away, I was like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And this game is a journey. I don't think this is a title that's really meant to be experienced in like 1 or 2 days. Like, you kind of go back to, you know, the DHV Magellan, and you go back to your ship. You're supposed to kind of like process this game as time goes on. Because the story alone is like 40 hours to do the campaign.
What would you say for anybody who played the first game and didn't like the first game? Because I know a lot of people played the first game. They're like, this is weird. I'm just delivering packages. What would you say is different with the second game to maybe entice those people into that?
That's a really good question. I would recommend this game. Because not only does this game have a really good little retrospective mode that tells you everything that happens in the first game as soon as you put it on.
Yeah.
And it does it in a really nice, concise way where it makes sense, it's very quick to read, but it also just gets into the game so much faster. I know some really diehard Death Stranding fans don't love that because they love the isolation and the grind of the first game. Yeah. But this game, like, you know, I feel like a few hours in, you get your vehicle, you get zip lines in the first like 10 hours. You know, you kind of start to build a lot of the constructions that more came in like the 20-hour mark, 20-hour mark in the first game. They really show up early. Yeah. So you're just getting into the building and the construction. You're just kind of like right into it. And I adored that about this game.
This is one hell of a ship you got here.
What was it like, what was one of the things about this game that like, maybe shocked you? That you're like, wow, like that they didn't. You don't have to do the story spoilers.
Yeah.
But like maybe even a gameplay element, something you're like, whoa, that's just cool. That they did
You know, overall, like it was epic. Like I'm not gonna say like the last chapter. I'm not gonna get into it, but extremely crazy. Probably one of the craziest things I've ever experienced in a video game.
Hideo Kojima crazy.
That last chapter. Again, no details. But I think what I liked about this game is it felt more alive. I felt like I was more attached to the characters.
Right.
And you had the ship, which had Tarman, had Heartman, had Fragile. My favorite character in this whole game is actually Dollman.
Okay.
Who's played by Jonathan Rumi.
Yeah.
And he is kind of your companion. He's just on your little belt. You know, he's a little tiny little doll that's by your waist.
Yeah.
And he really brings this element of life to the game that, you know, like, let's face it, Sam Porter, you know, played by Norman Reedus, is a pretty silent protagonist, right?
Yeah.
He's very kind of closed in, very kind of to himself.
Yeah.
And Dollman just adds this element of life into the game where he just is constantly commenting on things, teaching you stuff.
Right.
Just like finding out his lore and his backstory was.
And he's kind of explained the storyline.
He is a little bit more, and it brought this layer. Like I actually cared about the characters more in this game personally.
Yeah.
More than the first game.
Right.
And you know how everyone just kind of comes together in the ship. Again, leading to the last few acts of the game was epic.
Yeah.
And at its DNA, the gameplay of Death Stranding is so good. And like I feel like the developers know that because the moment you take off that backpack and you are doing the run and gun combat and you're facing these giant epic mechs and like it's so good. Like you can tell this team knows what they're doing and they are like they know what's up, and they've learned so much from Metal Gear Solid 5, which I think was the best Metal Gear gameplay in a game, not the best Metal Gear game.
Did he take some of the development team with him?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Oh, I didn't know that behind the
scenes.
scenes.
He definitely took it.
I thought he quite literally went over and just started his own company to hide.
Of course he took Yoji Shinkawa, right, which is his art director.
Yeah,
he definitely took a lot of the gameplay.
Okay.
So like, it's just super. This is a game I'm gonna remember forever. And I remember I finished it 60 hours in because I did a lot of side missions. And John, it was one of those games where I was like, and this is the biggest compliment for me. I have to like, I put it down and I have to like digest and process it. And for me, that's the biggest compliment ever. When I'm like not going straight into New Game Plus and whatnot, I kind of have to sit it down. I was the same with like Last of Us, all the games. And I was the same with all the Metal Gear games where I was like, I need to put this down, like just think about what I just experienced.
Yeah, you're a big Hideo Kojima fan.
I am. I'm a fanboy. I'm definitely a Metal Gear fanboy. And I was critical about the first Death Stranding, but Death Stranding 2 is a game I can really recommend to anyone.
Nice.
And I feel like really happy in saying
I'm gonna go pick it up now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up.
Please give it, because I think you would like it.
Yeah, no, I actually enjoyed the first game. I thought it was a little bit too samey.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's not a
crazy.
game like friends would ask me, it's like, I beat it, I enjoyed it. I just cannot recommend this to you unless you're really patient. There's very specific people I know that would. They love the really crazy, whimsical stories.
Do you think there'll ever be a third one? Or is it at the end? He's gonna move on to some different things. Maybe.
No spoilers. I will say the third one opens up something really cool.
Okay.
And it opens up the possibility to something really cool.
Okay.
But I've heard rumors that something about Hideo Kojima might have someone else direct the third one.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's all confirmed. That's all kind of speculation.
I know. It's just so sad we'll never get another Metal Gear game the same way.
Yeah,
it's really sad.
It is really sad.
Because we both agree, I like that. For me personally, I think you agree because you're wearing the shirt, that we both love the third game. That's my favorite in the series.
The best in the series.
The best in the series.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
I'm so happy about that.
I love all the Metal Gear games, but there's something about the third one. It's so funny when I played the remake Delta. This year. I remember like I showed it to my fiance Whitney, and she saw it for the first time, and I remember the Snake Eater intro.
I love that.
Snake Eater.
Till this day, in the other room, I hear her in the kitchen, and she's playing the Snake Eater. So she like loves it so much. She always wants to watch it. I'm like, you gotta just play the game at this point.
Oh my god! I know we can just talk about Metal Gear for an afternoon.
Yeah, we can keep going.
There's another game that we have in common that we'll talk about in a second. Mortal Kombat, the collection, and I know you've been playing it, and I just want to come back and talk about it for a second. I'm going to also talk about Pragmata in a second as well. What do you want to say about this?
John, first of all, thank you. You've gifted me this game. I gotta let the whole audience know. You're so kind, because I didn't pick this up right away. I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan.
Yeah.
I just heard that there were some issues that have now been fixed, like with online play, a little bit of latency. But I didn't know.
I didn't notice the latency.
No, but it got fixed. There are a lot of things got
okay.
fixed now. But I didn't know the documentaries were going to be so good. This is
so
really
good.
a celebration of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And it was you who told me, like, Behr, you gotta like go through this. And
yeah.
There are hours of footage. There is concept art. There's all this stuff that has never really been like talked about much before.
I know, in one package.
Yeah. And
right?
and like the original team, like I love that John Tobias was also a big part of this because like Ed Boon has been the face of Mortal Kombat since forever because he's continued to work on NetherRealm. But John Tobias kind of like he left off after MK4. And goodness gracious, was it like so special to go through this and
it's a
relive
love
that?
letter.
Yeah.
It's a love letter. And I think we're both Street Fighter guys, but we both can have a firm handshake once again that this game is a classic of all time. The series is
so good.
But for me, it was 1 and 2. The third game lost me a little bit. I remember going to an arcade seeing the third game and I'm like, they had these like the robot guys that look like predators. And I'm like,
all the sprites were a little thinner. I remember. I didn't like it as much.
I was just like, I'm not really with this. And then after that, I was never into Mortal Kombat the same way. 1 and 2 was so surreal and so creepy and mysterious. You played number 2 and you'd be like, what's that in the background? Can you do something with that? Can you interact? Everything in the was surreal, like
the vibe, right?
The vibe,
it's like
the
it's
trees,
super,
the trees in the background,
super dark and has that mystery around it, and they get into that as well in the documentary.
And the music, and there's some great quality of life features in here, in that you can do one button fatalities, which I love.
Sub-Zero with fatality.
I want to talk about fatalities with you for a second.
Yeah, of course.
I could never do fatalities back in the day. How did you learn how to do them?
Oh, at that point, it was just like, it was literally on paper. And I love that they showed that in the documentary too. I remember like friends giving me pieces of paper of like, here are the fatalities. Or someone had access to the internet, so they were
so you had them
printed
from
out.
the internet.
Yeah, the support on the internet, and a lot of times just from word of mouth sometimes too. But I remember from Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, I used to remember by memory, I used to remember all the fatalities. At this point, I probably know half of them. So I knew about half of them off memory. But Mortal Kombat 3, and you and I were talking about this, the fatality timer was like, I swear, like 1.5 to 2 seconds. It was so quick. I never really remembered how to do the fatalities in that. So those quality of life features, like the one button fatality, were so nice because now anyone can just pick up and play, and like you get to like kind of have those like whoa moments. The other feature I want to talk about quickly, which is my favorite like gameplay feature, is you can stabilize the CPU difficulty. Which anyone who knows Mortal Kombat, you know that the arcade mode CPU was cheap in this game. Like absolutely, after you won like 2 matches, it would read your inputs, especially MK3 in particular, I remember. Unless you use certain exploits of doing the same thing over and over again. It was just so not fun playing through the CPU ladder. And this collection fixes that. Like for me as a fan, like I can actually go through the ladder mode and just kind of like have fun and do my combos.
Have fun.
Yeah, without having to worry about like the CPU knowing exactly what I'm gonna do. Like, it takes a lot. It takes a lot for me to call something cheap, but it felt always really cheap. Like especially the ports and all that. So great collection. Like just
so many games, so many versions. Like all the Super Nintendo versions and Game Boy versions and all the versions you don't even want are here.
Yeah, exactly.
So weird. I mean, but somebody will want them.
Somebody will want them.
Someone has some nostalgia for some old version of this game. But the one thing I've got to ask you, have you played Pragmata, the demo?
I have not played it.
Oh my God. Like, I have to hold back because I'm going to go kind of crazy.
Okay, I want to see it, John.
It's so good.
Okay.
It is so good. And it's so amazing that Capcom is releasing this game, because this is not, a Resident Evil. It's not a Street Fighter. It reminds me of the GameCube era when they would release just original titles like this, that they're releasing this game, and it's a very fascinating game. The demo's out there, so go out and play it that way. I've been looking forward to it just from the graphic aesthetics of it. I thought it looked really good. But I downloaded the demo. I was playing it yesterday, and I was like, I effing love
Oh
this
my
game.
god, I need to check this out.
So it all takes place on the moon, on this moon base, and there's a team that gets sent up there. There's been something like go wrong with the base, and this one character gets separated from his team. He's on his own. He runs into an android girl that he carries around with her. Do you know anything about this?
No, I don't know anything
Oh my
about
God.
this game. This is
yeah.
like...
And so the entire station is on alert and trying to kill any organic human being that's in the station.
What the heck's going on with the bots here? They all gone haywire or what?
I don't think they normally attack humans.
Yeah, well... We better get in contact with Earth before it's too late.
So you have all these AI robots that are coming after your main character, but yet he's got this android who can hack different things. So you can do the combat alone is so fascinating. So you'll see this weird creature walking towards your robot, AI, and you'll aim your gun at it, it'll lock on, and then it'll be a grid. And you have to use your buttons, not your D-pad, to move around the grid to get to where you got to get to. And then you will activate it and you'll shoot it and you'll do more damage. And you can go outside of the grid to other icons to do more damage if you have the time as the enemy's coming close to you.
Okay.
Until you're like on the edge with
This
timing.
seems stressful, John, but it's good.
But it keeps you on the edge.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, like, there's some really good graphics in a lot of our modern games, but this is gorgeous. You must go home.
Okay.
The demo is only like maybe 10 minutes,
Okay.
10, 15 minutes, but you have to play this.
Then I guess we can just go in blasting.
It's so interesting. He's sitting there talking to the girl. She's telling him what to do, and you're taking down like certain things in the station to open up certain doors and unlocking things, solving puzzles. And there's just something about this game that is so unique and so different, harkening back to Capcom taking a chance on some of these older games here. They're back doing that with this, and I hope it sells well because it's so out there. But my God, I got into my first boss battle and I was like, this is effing awesome.
Oh my God, okay, you
This
sold
is
me.
so
You sold me, John.
good.
Take this!
I don't know, being a dad now, my daughter's almost around the same age as this little girl. And it's just so cute that this guy's there and she's protecting him in a way. And it's like, it's so wild. But the interior of the space station, running around, collecting different weapons, and you have like a short little boost and things like that. It's brilliant stuff. I mean, it's really, really great stuff.
Be careful.
I like this. Guess that's that. So where to?
I highly recommend trying it to everybody. I played it on the PS5 Pro, and it was just charming
Okay.
to play. Like, wow.
I'm glad you put this on my radar because you know,
have
like
to play
it's so difficult for like new IPs to really break through
Yeah, I
now,
know.
right? That's why
I know.
everyone relies on sequels.
I know.
And Capcom's been kind of on a roll in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like they've really been releasing some good stuff. So for them to go at a new IP, this sounds really exciting.
And I think it comes out March or April,
Okay,
somewhere. And I'm telling everybody, go play the demo, please.
Okay.
Just go and experience
going
it.
home, John. I'm going home.
Yeah,
I'm playing
he's
the
going
demo.
home now. I mean, it kind of actually makes sense because we're basically done our game chat episode for today. But I will definitely bring you back on. We could do
My
entire
pleasure.
Metal Gear
Oh my
episodes
God.
talking about the lore.
I still
and
need
the
to
insanity.
I still need to steal your copy of Snatcher back
Oh,
here
I know.
one day.
For so many years, like Behr's been so upset that he doesn't have his own copy of Snatcher.
One day.
If I ever pass away,
No, don't
you can
say that.
that'll be in my will. You can get my copy of Snatcher. You know, Kim will be like, no, but that's the cost of a house now.
Yeah, that is a cost. But
But no, if it's going to go to anywhere, it's going to go to Behr, and it's an original one. It's not,
This guy.
it's not a counterfeit
This guy.
and all of that. So great to have you on once
you.
again. And guys, what are you playing? Let me know down below. So anyways, guys, until next time.